Let's perform the indicated operation. It is subtraction, so remember what that means. Just as for fractions, we must have the same denominator. And notice we don't. Now I went ahead and factored the denominators that you have in your test. The first one factors as y plus 5 times y plus 1. Second one factors as y plus 4 times y plus 1. I need that to find my least common denominator, and it is y plus 5. I need that factor. I need the factor of y plus 1, and I need the factor of y plus 4. And notice I already do have that factor of y plus 1. So here is my least common denominator. Now I need to write each rational expression as an equivalent rational expression, but with this as denominator. So just be very, very neat. I'm just going to write down my first rational expression. So here is my first rational expression. What do I need to do in order to write an equivalent rational expression with this as denominator? Well, notice I need a factor of y plus 4 in the denominator. So if I multiply the denominator by y plus 4, I must multiply the numerator by y plus 4. That's the same as multiplying by 1 then, as long as y is not negative 4. And then here's my minus sign. Now I'm just writing down the second rational expression. I have y plus 4 over y plus 1. What is missing in the denominator to make it look like the least common denominator? What is missing is a factor of y plus 5. So I will multiply the denominator by y plus 5, which means I must also multiply the numerator by y plus 5, because then I'm multiplying by 1. Now let's go ahead and in the first numerator, let's go ahead and multiply. I have 4y squared plus 16y all over. Now if you want to save space, you can write LCD, least common denominator, but for our purposes, I better go ahead and write it out. Y plus 5 times y plus 1 times y plus 4 minus, again, let's go ahead and multiply. I have 3y plus 15 over, same denominator, different order, but that doesn't matter, y plus 4 times y plus 1 times y plus 5. Now notice the denominators are the same. That gives me the right to combine the numerators, but you've got to be very, very careful, because I have to subtract this entire second numerator. So in other words, it's 4y squared plus 16y, and then it's minus parentheses 3y plus 15, so it's minus 3y minus 15 all over then a single LCD y plus 5 times y plus 1 times y plus 4. Let's go ahead and see if we can squeeze it in here to the right then. Notice I have a few like terms here, so that is, you know, as a matter of fact, let me write it underneath so it doesn't look so confusing to you. That is 4y squared. Notice I have a few like terms. I have 16y minus 3y, that's plus 13y minus 15 all over my least common denominator. Now you can check, but that numerator is a prime trinomial, so I am simplified, and this is my difference in simplest form.